Hey everybody, welcome to our new channel, Overland with Davey and Goliath. In today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about planning and how we are going to put together the Goliath build. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to Overland with Davey and Goliath. Before we get going on talking about the planning on the Goliath Build Project, I would like to spend just a minute talking to you about inspiration. I personally have been inspired by multiple people on YouTube to do all of this. You know, the YouTube channel, the build, everything. People like Brad over at Trail Recon. Yes, Brad, this is 100%, dude, your fault. But people like Brad are absolute wonderful ambassadors to this lifestyle. Overlanding, off-roading, however you wish to look at it. You know, Brad he's got the perfect look, he's got the perfect tone. His footage is beautifully cinematic and his editing is absolutely beautiful. He's just a really, really good ambassador, and he has excited me to jump into this and go enjoy this life out there, which I can't find in here. And I want to personally thank him very much for that. Okay, so on to planning. Planning is critical in a project like this. Now, I do realize that not everybody is in the same position that I am going to be in for this build. On that note, in my original introduction video, I told you that we were going to do the Goliath build in 1 week. Since then, I have spoken with my boss at my real job. Yeah, I do have a real job, just like you. And it turns out that I have a 2-week window of vacation time that I am going to be taking for the Goliath build. So we are going to expand that up to a 2-week period of time for the Goliath build. And as I've gone through the planning, and I'm just scratching the surface, to be honest with you, for this project, I think it's really going to be necessary, because there are certain things that you absolutely cannot skimp on. You cannot cut the corners on. You cannot try to go out the cheap way. Okay, one of those things is electrical. The last thing in the world you want is an electrical fire out in the middle of the Mojave Desert, or up in the Eastern Sierras, or that would be devastating. So wiring is critical. And I don't want this rat's nest of wiring going on that I have on my current JK. So we're not going to do that again. So I've sat down and planned it all out. This particular one is from the locations that things are going to be powered. For instance, the KCs are all going to be powered from the front. CB ham, those things are all going to be powered from the main battery, and Switch Pros unit there in the front. And but then all of the accessories in the rear are going to be powered off of a Jackery 1000 system. Something that I can charge both by the car and by solar if I need to. And so that's what this layout pretty much does. It lets me know everything that is coming from the battery to the SP9100 Switch Pros unit, from the main switches in the cockpit of the Jeep, and then from the Jackery system to yet another SP9100 that will be mounted in the back. So, and this lets me know where all that's going to be powered from. One of the things that we learned, or let me correct that, we haven't learned it yet. One of the things we came up with in the process of doing this one is this one. One of the problems that we're going to have, or potentially may have, is we're going to put rack lighting up on the left side, the right side, and the rear, like most Overland rigs. You know what I mean? The problem is that it's going to be powered both from the front and from the back. So in other words, when we're out on the trail and we want to see what's to our sides, we're going to kick on the rack lights, okay, from the driver's seat. But when we get to camp, we want to be able to control those lights also from the back. Well, this presents a potential problem. You have power coming from the front to those lights, and then meeting with the power coming from the Jackery unit, which means there's a potential for sending that power backwards through those lines and back into the output side of the Jackery unit. So I am currently trying to find out if that presents a problem to the Jackery unit. If not, then I can bypass all this and life will be a little bit easier. But these are some of the things that you learn in the planning stages, and this applies to all of the things that you're doing, whether you're talking about putting things in certain locations, you're talking about wiring, you're talking about lift kits and the potential problems and all of that. Please bear in mind, with this project, we're putting it on a 2020 Jeep JL Rubicon Ego diesel. So there are not a lot of lift kits and various things like that that are out there that are currently being rated and listed for the JL Ego diesel. So anyway, back to this problem. What we came up with was a plan. So here we have the rack lighting coming in from the front, moving to this light, and potentially where these two wires meet, moving backwards, back through the system and back into the input of the Jackery unit. Okay, this is what we want to avoid. So what we've come up with is to build a diode system within this electrical box that will be in the back, which would then prevent, because the diode prevents power or keeps power moving in one direction and grossly reduces it coming back the other way. So it will keep the power moving only this direction to this light, and then this power can go here. It will only go back as far as the diode system, and it will terminate there. So this is one of the cool things about planning. While you can get really frustrated doing it, and I have, you also get yourself into it. When you come across a problem, you get yourself into a mindset of that's solution based, instead of just freaking out, going, I can't do this now. Geez, can't do this. Yeah, you can. Where there's a will, there's a way. And but the important thing is, don't cut the corner. You don't want to have an electrical fire out there. So that moves you on to things like routing. I'm fortunate in the sense that I currently own a JK, and the similarities are far greater than the dissimilarities from the JK to the JL platform. So it makes it a little bit easier. I can run out to the Jeep if I'm thinking about something and go, okay, yeah, I can route it this way. I can pop it up through the frame or all of that. In my case, it's simply just going to be a matter of the sheer number of wires. A lot of us would like to run them on the inside of the roll, the roll cage, but the JL and the JK are set up differently in that in that world, and so there's a lot of plastic gizmos on the roll cage of the JL platform that would prevent you from putting a bunch of wires in there. One or two, great. That moved us on to things like placement of things. The Maximus 3 Rhino rack combination that I'm going to be putting on this, even though I'm putting the larger 76-inch version on Goliath, is still a little short. And so I encourage you to go out, get your measurements, find out the measurements of your tents, find out everything that you want to put up on top of your Jeep. In our case, this is kind of what we came up with. What we're going to do is, since we do fall just a little bit short on usable space up there, go figure in the Overland world, right? Falling short on space. We're going to slide the tent just a little bit off the front end, and to give us the room to put in our road shower. We're going to have a Pelican box back here in the back, which will probably have our Max Track stacked on top of that. Then we're going to do some roto packs in the rear of that. We're probably going to slide those off just a little bit too, just to make up for that extra room and have room for the operation of that Pelican box as well. Originally, I wasn't going to put the storage tray unit on the LOD swing out rear bumper that I'm going to be putting on Goliath. But I think now we're going to add that to the list. Someplace to put some firewood or something like that, just to give us that extra little bit of space up there on top. Then of course we're going to put our awning in there, and I'm hoping to be able to drop my fishing pole tube down in there, and get us moving in the right direction, and get us moving in the right direction ahead of time. That's the purpose of all this planning. I get teased all the time because I have some younger friends who are not in the position I'm going to be in, and they're always on the internet looking up parts and this, that, and the other thing, and bottom line is they're looking 100 years down the road at things that they hope they're going to be able to afford to do at some point, and and so I give them crap. You're just obsessing. So now they've got it flipped around on me. I'm the one who's obsessing now, and I guess there's probably truth to that. Here I am sitting here doing a freaking YouTube video. Okay, so but there's a difference. if you can afford to do it, it's no longer obsession. It's just getting it done and doing proper planning. So that's my excuse, at least for today. Oh, very cool. And I was justified, yes, I was justified in this adventure by Clay over at Expedition Overland. I caught one of his videos the other day, and he told me it was okay for me to do all this stuff, all right? So there you go, there you have it. All right, moving on. In figuring out the roof rack system, one of the other things that we learned was that our tent was too big. It was going to take up way too much room. So another one of the solutions that came up in that was that we downsize. For the most part, it's only going to be me, perhaps one other person. That person will more than likely want to ground tent and have their own space. And so I don't need this big gigantic 3+ person tent up on top of the Jeep. So we decided we're going to downsize. What that did was it led me to another area that I changed brands. I had one brand I was going to use previous to that, very high-end, super high-end company, very expensive tent, and you know, pretty big. You know, all that, gotta have all that luxury, you know what I mean? Nah, you really don't. So in searching for awnings, I ran across another company, 230, that we're going to be putting their 2-person tent up there because it's smaller, the measurements fit much better, and they make a really cool awning. So that's how we're going to go with that. We're going to go with the 230 2-person, and we're going to go with the 230 Peregrine awning system. And so anyway, these are just a few of the things that you figure out while you're doing your planning. If you have the forethought to just sit down and just do it before you do the project. The change from the one tent to the other, cost-wise, is almost $5,000. So that was a very important change, and I get all the same stuff. I just am going to be doing it in a little bit smaller space. Another one of the cool things about planning is it allows you to get an idea of how you want to do things and the order in which you want to do things. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to create a order of build list so that we're organized when we go tackle this Goliath build. And what led me to that was I was watching some YouTube videos. I was watching Eddie over at Way of Life, and he was installing the very same EVA rock rails that I'm going to put on Goliath. And when I was watching that video, I noticed he had to mount them up, mark his holes, and then remove them and drill his holes. And so in that, we're gonna, as soon as I finish editing this video, I'm gonna begin the process of doing that order of build. Originally, we were just gonna start with paint. You know, we're gonna do our custom Raptor liner paint work and then go to town on everything else. Well, as it turns out, first thing I need to do is get those rock rails up there, get those holes marked, get those holes drilled out, and then I can move on to doing this custom, ultra custom Raptor paint job here. So, and that leads me on to paint. I literally spent a month just watching people, between in my spare time and all of that, watching people do these Raptor paint jobs. And one of the things I noticed is, they'll go in, preparation is everything, and that's how we're going to do it, of course. But I don't just want to do any normal Raptor paint job. So we're not just going to roll in there and prep it all up and spray it one color and all of that. We're going to do a really super ultra custom Raptor paint job. One that will probably take 3 days to do, because it literally will be in 3 different stages with 3 different colors. So that's going to take a great deal of planning, a lot of masking over and over and over again, a lot of large stencils, which I'm basically going to make. So that's going to be quite the thing, and hopefully it'll turn out nice. A lot of this stuff I've never done before, so I'm going to have to. I'm going to really have to step up to get it all right. So planning is extremely important. So that just about does it, folks. At least for this video, and hopefully we'll give you another update here in probably a week or so and let you know where we're at there, if anything's really changed and all of that. So I'd just like to say thanks for stopping into our new channel. Like and subscribe. I don't have Patreon. I don't have any of those things. I'm not looking for you to send me money on this project. We got it covered. But I would appreciate it if you'd come on over, subscribe, follow this build. It's going to be a lot of fun, people. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I got a crew starting to build up, and we're going to get some folks over here that are jacked up for the project and want to get it going. And I really hope you'll come and join us too, whether it be here on YouTube, or if you're local to me, one of my buddies watching this thing, you're more than welcome to come over and turn some wrenches. You know what I mean? So anyway, folks, everybody have a wonderful night. As Brad over at Trail Recon would tell you, please, if you're out there, travel those trails responsibly. We want to keep them open. And I definitely want to keep them open, because I still got to go check them out. And so anyway, come on along and join us on the adventure. Thanks for stopping by Overland with Davey and Goliath. And everybody just have a wonderful night. And remember, life is out there.